Hello everyone, this is Daryl20 and welcome to episode 29 of Daryl20's OceanBlock2 Let's Play series. Today I've been doing a little bit of crafting off camera, so I got a wireless crafting terminal that I'm ready to install somewhere. I might just wind up throwing this like somewhere here-ish. Sure, why not? That should suffice, and then I should be able to do that, which should have a decent range, and then I should be able to do wireless crafting terminal. Isn't that what I want? And then, nope, wrong one. Options, I always forget which one of these it is. Keybinds, category, applied logistics 2, open wireless terminal, is it this one? Wireless. Must not be that one. That's for fine storage. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Applied Energistics wireless terminal. There we go. Hooray! Wireless. Woo! Gotta love that. Sweet. Between episodes, like, did a little bit of minor stuff, like, was accumulating more Certus quartz and just figured, hey, this is a nice, easy way to get started. I will have to automate this sooner than later, but at least, like, I needed a lot of Fluix to make the wireless terminal. So, like, yeah. I should also probably handle something fluxy, powery, right? Like we've got void flame coal and probably a few other types of coal, like eclipse alloy coal. Yeah, I got a bit. So I could like, you know, keep this thing going still for a little bit longer, but at some point I'm gonna want to fully automate this. I'm thinking Flux networks at some point soon we'll get into. Does that sound like a plan? Also just did a little bit of like, you know, just miscellaneous expansion of the AE stuff. Today's episode, I think I have a plan for something fun. I wanna try something. So like if I wanted a bunch of Skystone dust, that's a thing, right? So follow my logic on this. Actually, no, I want to do something different here. Do I need like a... Okay, so disintegrator... I think I can do this. So I'm going to want a disintegrator from the Replica Mod. I'm going to want the replicator. I'm going to want the disintegrator. I'm probably going to want 2 matter tanks. I don't know if I need a replication terminal. I don't know if I need a chip storage. Do I need a chip storage per se? I don't know, we'll see. I might need a chip storage. And I will definitely need a memory chip. Let's, like, teach AE how to make some of this stuff. Does that sound cool? Because I would think that that's not that hard to get, right? We can do that. We can do that. We can do this. And we can do this. You're going to need to know how to make that, aren't you? And then you're going to want to make that. And that should be about it. Maybe. A little quicker probably just to run over here and stick all this in with a shift click than manually inserting. Because I want to make a thing that should be a fun use case for the replicator mod. And I want to see if I'm right about that. I think. That's my plan. And we'll see how it plays out. That's Deep Learner. I guess I can go there. Whatever. As long as it works. It works. Cool. So here's what I want to make, right? So let's see. Do we have from the Replica mod? We have a ish amount of replica ingots. Remind me how those are made again. They're raw replicas, which does not have replica patterns, by the way, so you can't dupe that stuff. It's tempered glass that's super hot with polymorphic. At some point, maybe I will teach the system how to make this, but I don't think that has to happen today. Hopefully I have enough to make this happen. So I do want a disintegrator. Right? I want 2 matter tanks, and I want a replicator. Once my crafting CPUs are available. And then I'm going to want a memory chip. Did I have, like, literally exactly enough replica stuff to make this? Because that's kind of funny to me. That is actually really funny to me that worked that way. It just happened to work out. Now, if I come over here and get some Skystone dust, and I identify it on my new memory chip, right? New memory chip. Your job is to know how to make Skystone dust. Because I was looking at how to dupe Skystone, and really, like, your only option, if you don't go Replica, is Mystical Agriculture Seeds. And I feel like I did a lot of Mystical Agriculture last season, so I don't know if you noticed, but I'm kind of been avoiding it in this Let's Play through. Just because I did a lot of Mystical Agriculture previously. So I'm going to see, like, you know, if I can avoid it. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. We'll find out. All right. Now check this out, because this is I found, first time I finally found something that I think is going to be a very easy automation with Replica. So I want Skystone dust, right? Because in order to make the cool stuff from Extended AE, we need Entro seeds. And Entro seeds are sand, which we have infinity billion of, Ender Pearl dust, which if we do this recipe, we get 9 per Ender Pearl, so lots. Redstone and glowstone, plenty. And Skystone dust, which, yeah, not so easy, right? So I can get Skystone, right? From this, and that's like it. Like those are your options, is to go like this route. So I was all ready to do Skystone essence for Mystical Agriculture, and I was like, wait a minute. I think there's a better way. And we're gonna find out. I might need some of these cables. Do I need these cables, or do you think these machines can connect to each other without the cables? We'll find out. Matter network pipes. I should probably add these to the autocrafty bits, right? And then you probably need to know how to make glass as well. Cool. Yeah, so we're going to need a few more replica. So that was primal coal and dark quartz, right? So if we got like 16 and 16 and polymorphic fluid 8. Right? And then that shouldn't be too big of a deal. This is historically how I've been doing it. I may have been doing it off camera this way, but this has been my historical approach. Cool? And you. And then you can make me a matter network pipe in case I need it. I don't know if I need it. I guess we're going to find out. So what I'd love to do is have a little bit of power. Let's do this over here temporarily, and then we might wind up going a different route with this, but we'll find out. We'll see. Right? You should have juice, so you should have no problem running some power over to here. I presume. Now, can I just get you guys to be cool? So you're going to disintegrator, you're going to replicator, and I assume... I'm hoping that these little squares mean that, like, that works that way. So let's see what happens if I disintegrate oak logs. Oak logs give me 8 and 8. Did they go in here? They did. Sweet. Now, if I lock you guys, that's cool. So we've got 8 organic and 8 earth. That's cool. Okay. Now over here, can I do this? True. You have no power. So you have power. You have no power. I'm hoping that you guys are all, like, linked. You may need your mattery dudes underneath. Yepper pepper. Yeah, you do. Okay. Skystone dust is 4 and 4 of the exact same thing that wood is. So basically speaking, I can convert 1 oak log into 2 skystone dust with no waste whatsoever. And in infinite mode, it'll just keep working. So, like, I put these 15 in here, he's going to make a bunch of stuffs, and then he's going to consume it all. Oh, look at that. It does a little... That's neat. I never noticed that before. That's pretty spiffy. How cool is that? All right. And then I don't know where all your matter went. I actually legitimately do not know. You stayed in there for some reason. I guess the locking is not how it works. Locking does not work the way I expected it to. Let's put it that way. All right. So like that's how you get Skystone dust. Is that that's kind of neat. And if I wanted to, I could do one of two things. I could have Applied Energistics be like, "Hey, here's a crafting recipe. You insert 1 oak log, you get out 2 Skystone dust." It's a little slow, and I don't see any add-on slots. Even though this looks like an Industrial Foregoing mod, which it kind like it, I'm assuming it's the same mod author and everything. It doesn't have the slots for like speed upgrades and stuff. So we can't increase the speed at which it runs. But like we could either do like a keep in stock kind of deal. I could just export all the wood in here until it backstuffs. I assume all these slots will fill up at some point, right? But there's like 100 ways we could automate this. But the gist is like wood goes in, Skystone comes out. And that's kind of cool. So finding like the right way of crafting stuff can be kind of fun, I think. I do at some point need to figure out what happens if we like overflow one of these dudes. Like, will the disintegrator stop working or will it just start voiding matter? I'm kind of hoping it's the latter. Yeah, I'm tempted to just like throw as much oak wood in here as I can. But like to be fair, these tanks store a lot. They store a lot of matter. So it'll take me a lot of wood to get to the point where they're full, and I just don't think I have the energy to do that right now. But what I will do is take my Skystone dust that I've thus far created and use it to make Entro crystals and seeds. And that's kind of cool, right? Like, let's get 32 of them. And what do I do with them? I click them on something Fluix block. Yeah. So if I got a Fluix block, right? And we stuck that here, and then we clicked there, right? And then let's get ready to set this up. So what I'm gonna want is a breaker, but I want like the area of effect breaker. So I'm gonna clearly need more ender pearls, which hopefully I have. At some point I should get my storage bus here connected to the AE system. But we should have lots. Yeah, we have lots. That works for me. Do I have like a big spot to store ender pearls over here? I mean, I feel like I should. That works. That works. We do now. And then we're going to want diamonds, right? Sweet. And speaking of diamonds, are you still running? I should probably like make these not do what do you what huh? Why are you gummed up? You are gummed up. 100% on my to-do list. Fix this mess of nonsense. At the very least, what I should be doing, I should probably still have the chest input on there, by the way. Or pull from above kind of deal. But what I should be doing is yeah, buddy. Auto smelting all that stuff and just making sure that the resource generation is running 100% of the time. In fairness, though, I've been like really ignoring resource gen and have plenty of resources. So, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, like I should, but like I haven't needed to. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna want you, friends, which is cool. And then we're gonna want our breaker, which we can upgrade to a fancy breaker, so we can do area of effect and filtering. Yep. And then we're gonna want. You know what? You didn't even need Skystone dust. It just occurred to me that not only did I not place my memory chip, but like you didn't need it at all. So why didn't you need a memory chip? I don't know. I don't. Maybe you only need the memory chip if you're doing. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Doesn't seem to matter though, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, let's get that, and then we're gonna want a clicker. Just get a few of them, because never hurts to have a few extra. Cool. And then you should be cool to do that. And you're ready to click. You're going to target blocks. You're going to right click with Entro seeds. And then what we can have here is a nice little breaker that we could probably face right here. You're going to need power. I'll get to that in a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Celesta Gem Pickaxe, which I put Fortune on, because Certus is affected by Fortune. Okay? I put it on this dude, so we're probably going to want another one of these in a minute. So the only thing you had on you is Fortune and Hammer, right? Like, those are the only two upgrades that I don't care about Hammer, really. So, like, I'm cool with that. So I'm just going to make another one of you for me to use. Okay? Because I don't need Fortune for my day-to-day activity type stuff. But having Fortune on this guy would be cool. What I will do is get the drops teleporter, which should be fun. Right? And then you guys and you guys and you. Okay? So now my dude here can get drops teleported right into there. Okay? And you've got a slot for Certus Crystal already? I'm going to give you a slot for Entro Crystal, which I can do easily enough because I just can. Cool. And then functional storage. I have some void upgrades. I'm going to go ahead and stick void upgrades on you because I know that's going to happen, and probably you, right? Because, like, eventually we're going to fill this up. And if anything I automate, I like to have void upgrades on. Cool. So then your area of effect can go +1 on the Y. Is that cool? And then +1 on the X, just to make it cover this whole area. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow list you, and you're going to filter on the items that get dropped, and you're going to get Certus and Entro Crystal, right? So you and you, right? And then we're going to put Fortune 3 Celesta Gem Pick on that. And then to validate that this is going to work for a minute, I'm going to borrow you and do that. Do we like? I think that's pretty cool. I think that's majorly cool. And then once you're full, put you back, turn you off for rendering area. You can get power again, and then you'll help things grow. And then there's automated Entro and Certus Quartz all at once. Are we cool with that? Yes, we are. And you should be using a smidge of power every time you break something. We'll get around, like, I'm kind of like limping along with wireless power until I get Flux networks up and running, and then I can just like, Flux point, don't care. That'll be me in the future. Oh, this guy turns into a Certus Quartz block. Right. So if he decays into a Certus Quartz block and there's large Entro buds here, I wonder... They'll probably pop if I exchange and gadget them. They might stay grown if I... Because what I'll need is a Fluix block, right? So we need to know how to make Fluix blocks. that always how it worked? It's a relatively newish mod, so. Wonder if I could like swapper this in here. That would just be fun. Just for fun, I'm gonna see if we can do this. You ready? Just for fun, and see if it doesn't crack the crystals. Right? So to do this, what I'd need to have is basically I'd need you facing up. And then we need the, do I have the dire wrench? Just dire things. Because only my wrench can do the swapper config. Yet another wrench. Need more wrenches all the time. All the wrenches. Right? And then we have you. See, this is why I need to change the wrench mechanics, because I wrote the mod and I still forget if it's click or right click or how it works. Bound, bound, right? So now you're bound, you're good to go. So if I do this, and you guys should be configured to redstone pulse by default. So if I do, oh my, that's kind of cool. Show me your area of effect again. That's kind of cool. Okay. So my problem is I'm gonna need another dude, and I'm gonna need like a sensor to sit here on this guy somehow. I can sense ranged. So basically we're gonna like sense the existence of the Certus quartz block. And if that exists, we pulse the thing, swap it, and then we're going to want a breaker who can only break Certus quartz blocks and place a new Fluix block for the next setup, right? So we're going to want a simple placer, right? Simple block placer. Just get a bunch of these at some point. Right? Simple block placer. Okay. And then we put Fluix here. We're going to want like a bunch of them. Right? And then we're going to want another advanced breaker. Okay. And that's going to be you. Get a bunch of this and a bunch of this ready to happen. Okay, and then you. And then you, and then the advanced breaker needs more eyes. Always need more eyes. Okay. So you'll break with a filter, you'll place without a filter, and then we're going to want a sensor. And because I don't want to take up another spot, I should do a simple. I really should just do a simple one. And then that'll take up a slot, like, you know, one of these sides. Or alternatively, I could do a wireless sensor. Yeah, let's just do the advanced sensor. Why not? We're going to have the funds today. All the funds. Okay, so your job, allow list, target blocks, Certus quartz block, and then your area of effect. will be there. So if you see a Certus Quartz block, you should, greater than 0, emit a signal, which will force the swap. Cool. I think that works. All right, so the sensor's energy is based on the area of effect you're scanning. And so because I'm only scanning like 1 block, it's pretty low FE usage. And it uses it every time it scans. So if you set it to check like every 100 ticks, every 5 seconds, it'll use 2 energy. So like that should last a little bit, right? One would hope. All right, so you do thing. And then what should happen is you'll swap these two. So let's get you placed so that you're ready. But then you're going to be an advanced block breaker with another Celestigem pick that we don't kind of care too much about. Having fortune. Oh, are we out of diamonds again? We might be out of diamonds again. So you're budding half entroized. You've got the powers, so you're doing a good job. So I guess what I want to do now is tell this guy, deny list, or allow list that, put my new pickaxe in there. You're going to also need some power. Let me guess, it's like stormy or something out there. Well, he filled up pretty quick, actually. That's cool. Fill her up. Again, I'll hook up power properly at some point relatively soon. But, like, for now, let's get things cooking, huh? Yeah. Budding hardly entroized flux. So what I would expect to see... and then finally we need a simple block placer. For that. So when he decays, it should swap the Fluix block in, click it, the breaker should break the Certus Quartz block there, and then the placer should place a new Fluix block, and that would be cool. And remember, he checks every 5 seconds. It worked! All I need now is to, like, you know, Celestigem do the teleporty bit, right? Now, the only thing I'll say is, you'll notice and probably say, why didn't you use this pickaxe to do the Certus Quartz block? And the reason is very simple. I don't want this guy to break it while it's here, otherwise I'll lose the Entro buds. Which, admittedly, would not be the end of the world. But, like, it would defeat the whole purpose of the swapper setup, right? Like, the whole reason I did that complicated swapper setup was to preserve the Entro buds. Mission accomplished. Come on, that is cool. That is fun, right? So Celestigem pick, I'm gonna need another drops teleporter. At this point, I'm probably foolish to not just teach you how to do the things that I need you to do, like all these things. Yeah, buddy. Like, we're gonna be automating that stuff at some point anyway, so might as well just do it now, get it over with. Bing, bang, boom. Happy camper, right? And then you, and then you combined to that dude, and then you can have this back. And, like, that, in my opinion, is pretty cool. Now, granted, this whole thing's gonna break because I didn't properly power any of it, but I gotta get into Flux Network sooner than later. It's probably about time. So talk to me about Flux networks. We're going to definitely want a Flux controller. Let's teach you aspects of Flux networks. So, like, the plug receives energy from adjacent blocks passively, adding energy to your network. I don't think I'm going to teach you how to make the plug. I'm going to teach you how to make the point, because I always mix those two up and wind up making the wrong thing. Questions, or that makes sense? Cool. And then to make that, we're going to need you, which you already know how to make that, and that's cool. I would like you to know how to make this, which is cool, right? You've got more patterns now. So that should all she needs to do for the things and stuff. And then making flux dust is going to be involving that. We should have some kind of autocraft setup for tempered glass jars, because there's like at least a handful of recipes that I think a tempered glass jar would benefit from, right? But let's get a flux point, right? So that's cool. Let's get a flux plug, which we can control click. We don't need to autocraft it, but like we can control click it, right? And get all the stuff we need. And then while I'm at it, I wouldn't mind a controller. Looks like we're already short on flux dust. Well, that was quick. That was very quick. That's funny. Actually, we might have just enough. Nope, we're still short. Yeah, no, we don't have just enough. All right, that's fair. I think I can do this without a controller, though. So if I stick the plug on the top here and have you outputting, and we make this Direwolf's network, it can be public, create, cool. And then I come over here and I attach you. Ta-da! That's cool. All right, so then you need power. Most of this power can go underneath, right? I would say yes. Okay. And then what I am going to need... What I should do at some point is, like, just start getting ultimate dudes, because, like, this ain't going to last forever. I don't even know how much steel ingot I have, but, like, I've yet to run into a problem with it, so I must have a decent amount. We got a laser in here somewhere. Okay. And then you guys... And then just flux point it, right? And that should be cool. Now everybody's got all the powers they need, right? And we don't need you anymore because you're good and full and getting the power you need. Sweet. I like it. It's so cool. Oh, come on, that's cool. Have I done that before? I feel like I haven't done that before. I feel like that's a new, like, that's a whole new way of doing it. Come on. That's super cool. That's super cool. And if you wanted to, you could make this a ranged clicker and get yourself one more sidedness to the block, right? And if you really wanted to, you could make the swappers ranged swappers, like the tier 4. I can't at this point because you need Eclipse alloy, and I haven't gotten to that tier. But like, you could open up the 5 sides of the block if you wanted to, right? Just saying. Just saying that's an option. I think that's a fun build. I had fun making that. All right, with that said, let's wrap up the episode here. We'll come back next time. More automations and progressions, just to, you know, having the funs. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Definitely taking a different approach to this series, so I hope you guys are liking that. For now, you know the deal. Take it easy.